What do you know about this new Chinese AI app called DeepSeek that's taking the AI world by storm? You might have seen it or heard about it. There's a new app that is similar to ChatGPT. It's called DeepSeek, and it became the #1 downloaded app on the App Store recently when it was launched. And it's an app from China that does similar sort of things to ChatGPT. And there's a lot of news about it at the moment. You might have seen some of it in technical news, but also it's in the mainstream news. And I'm going to just explain to you 3 things about it, which will help you separate the hype about it from the reality. And also we'll talk about what it means for you as a leader and manager within an organization. So I think there are 3 things that you should know about this app. So first of all, it's very similar to ChatGPT, and even though it's out of China, you can use it in English and so on. So it's a similar sort of interface. But there are 3 things that have really started tongues wagging about it. And the first is that it's come from China. And so there are a lot of people who are really surprised that now China and its AI capabilities are as good, if not better, than what's happening in some Western countries and tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot and so on. Now, really, China has been leading in AI for many, many years. It hasn't become mainstream with an app that everyone's got access to, but I've been following the growth of AI and I've seen amazing things happening in China with it. Just last year, they created the world's first virtual AI hospital to advance medical procedures. I know that they've been using AI to tackle climate change for many years. Even some years ago, they built complete cities which only allow driverless cars so they can test and improve the AI in those driverless cars. So China has really been at the leading edge of AI for a while. It's just that it hasn't been mainstream until this launch of DeepSeek. The second thing that's making all the news is that people are worried about the data that you're using going into DeepSeek, and DeepSeek having a Chinese bias, and the answers that you get are maybe censored. And look, this is true. If you ask it about Tiananmen Square, it doesn't know. If you ask it about the sovereignty of Taiwan, it gives you a very stock standard government answer. If you ask it to make a joke about Xi Jinping, it won't do that. It says that's impolite to make jokes about famous, important people, but it'll make jokes about other people. So that censorship and that bias is built in. But look, I've got news for you. The same's true of the other AI apps. So all of the AI tools we're using now have some bias built in, and actually bias handcrafted in. Let me give you an example with another tool. It's not an AI tool, but it's Google Maps. So just recently, after Donald Trump became president of the USA again, he unilaterally declared that the Gulf of Mexico is now going to be called the Gulf of America. So what does it mean? For most of the world, it means nothing at all, because no individual country can rename an international body of water. So most of us are going to continue calling it the Gulf of Mexico. But in the USA, in federal documents, he wants it to be renamed the Gulf of America. And in fact, Google has announced in Google Maps for users in the USA, when it shows that on the map, it will show it as the Gulf of America. For the rest of the world, it'll still be the Gulf of Mexico. But there'll be a whole bunch of Americans who will use Google Maps, maybe see that for the first time, and from now and forever, they will only ever think of this as the Gulf of America. So is there censorship? Is that bias? Yes. And it's built into all of the tools that we're using. So we need to be aware of it. I think the third really interesting thing about DeepSeek is that it turns out that it was developed very cheaply compared to the multi-millions, sometimes even billions of dollars used to build, train, and use some of these other AI apps. So people are really surprised and amazed that this company was able to do it for a lot less. But if you listen to and read a lot of AI experts, as I do, then you'll know that what they're saying is the surprising part of this, the thing that's really amazing and worrying people, is about the fact that a Chinese company could do it cheaper, but this is just a natural evolution of technology. All the other AI platforms and tools are also going to become cheaper and faster. It's just that this one seems to have jumped into place. It's not that it's leapfrogging what's happening with the other AI platforms. It's just it's surprising because it's new. So When you hear the stories about DeepSeek, just take them with a grain of salt and understand that there's a lot of hype around it, but some of the hype doesn't match reality, or it actually matches what's happening elsewhere in the world as well. And what does this mean for you as a leader or manager in an organization? Well, I think in general, it means very little. You don't have to start using DeepSeek and give up what you're doing with ChatGPT or Copilot. Continue using those things. If you haven't already started using AI, you should. And you should have conversations with your team, with your people, about using AI in the workplace to help improve productivity, to help enhance the customer experience, to help you make better decisions faster using AI. So stay on the track that you are now. Absolutely, you should know what's around the corner, over the horizon, or maybe just landed on your doorstep. But at the moment, it's just an area that you can be interested in rather than something you need to change course to immediately or get worried by. Now, if you're interested in doing more in this area of having conversations with your team about AI, there's a worksheet that I've got for you, which you can download here, and it'll help you facilitate conversations with your team about using AI. So please feel free to download it, share it with your team, and talk to them about how you're going to use AI for yourself, your team, and your organization. I'll see you in the future.